Okay, the theorems which we saw last time, we can take a summary of this. So the addition theorem we saw, okay, you can note down this. Now in this, especially while writing the equations, I have made use of the different symbols. This is for your union. You can see this sign, the first sign which we have here. So A union B, this is for your OR. Okay? And then there are two varieties of addition theorem. One where the events are not exclusive, and in the other one, both the events A and B are mutually exclusive. Similarly, I have taken an example of 3 events here, the addition rule for 3 events. And here you can see we have probability of A plus B plus C. Then we subtract the common, you can say, events between A and B, subtract the intersection part from, B and C and so on. But if you look at the last one, we are adding, okay, so plus P, A, you can say intersection B, intersection C. That means the common things between all the 3 units or all the 3 sets, or even if you want, you can call it as events. Okay. And if the events, like all the events which are there under consideration, if they are mutually exclusive, then you do not consider anything from the intersection part because they are not going to have anything in common. Okay, and that's the reason why we are using probability of A plus probability of B plus probability of C as the formula. Then we saw the multiplication theorem, okay, especially the compound theorem which we had, the multiplication, and multiplication was used for and not for or. For or we use addition theorem. Now for independent events, the formula is given here on top. Okay, for dependent, sorry, and the one for independent events, where both the events do not depend on each other, we simply multiply the probability of A and B. Okay, so we saw this few examples in the previous session. Okay, some notes you need to know. Please note this down. The formulas. Okay, where if to find the probability that A is going to occur, provided B is already occurred. Okay, the formula is given as P into bracket A intersection B, okay, divided by PB. Okay, so we saw some examples based on this as well. Now let us take one example, and please carry a pen and paper, and I want some answers from your side. Okay, there's a very simple ones, but try to make use of the formulas given to you and solve it. Okay, we need to find the probability of drawing a queen and a king in that order. That means first we have to draw the queen and then the king from a pack of cards in 2 consecutive draws. When the cards drawn are, there are 2 conditions given here: not being replaced and being replaced. That means in the first case, when I am drawing queen, okay, it will be from 52 cards, pack of cards. And while drawing the king, either I replace this queen back in the pack of cards or I do not replace. In both the scenarios, you need to find out the probability. Please give a try and let me know the answer. You can put it in the chat or you can unmute yourself and give the answer. Okay, so the answer which we got for the dependent events, especially for the king, it will be 4 by 51. Multiply this and you get the answer. Whereas when we are replacing the queen back in the pack of cards, the second event, that is event B, is not dependent on A. And that's the reason we take 4 by 52, multiply each of them, and we get the answer for the second part of the question. Let's go ahead with the Bayes theorem, which is important. And many questions are asked in the question paper regarding this theorem. So considering multiple events here, and from A1 to AN, we consider them to be mutually exclusive and collectively exhaustive events. And B is any other event that occurs in conjunction with the events A1 up to AN. Okay, so what is the formula here? Please note down this formula. We write it down like this. So this is the total formula. So P into bracket AK. So what is the chance of AK occurring given B is already occurred? Okay, is given by probability of AK multiplied by probability of B occurring given AK is occurred, divided by, then we have the summation sign up to N. We start with K equal to 1. PAK, that is the probability of AK occurring, multiplied by the probability that B will occur given AK is already occurred. Okay, this is a very important formula, as I told you, and you might not get always 1 or 2 events. You might get 3 or 4 events which are given to you, and we need to do the calculations. Let's take an example. And using the Bayes theorem, I would like you all to give a try and solve this problem. Even if you are wrong, no problem, please try to solve it. Okay, this is a question given to us. A factory has 2 machines, A and B. A is producing 300 units and B is producing 700 units. So we need to find out the total of this, that is 1000 units are produced by these 2 machines, A and B. Now 5% of the items produced on A are defective and only 1% produced by B are defective. If you say 5%, then 5 divided by 100, which is going to give me 0.05. Okay, similarly you can do for 1%. Now if a defective item is drawn at random, what is the probability that it is produced by machine A? Also, find the probability that an item drawn randomly from the output is defective. So there are 2 questions given to us. The first question, which says that we have to find out the probability that the defective item which we have picked up or drawn is produced on machine A. Okay. So those who want to give a try, please try it out, or else I'll be showing the answers. But I would like you all to give a try. Please make use of the Bayes theorem. You can consider A1, A2 as the 2 events. Okay, so we can consider A1 as the event that the item is produced on machine A. And A2 you can consider as the event that the item is produced on machine B. And then from there you can go ahead. Now for defective piece, you can consider D as the event. Okay, so there are 3 events which we have to consider here. And if they are saying what is the probability that the item produced on machine A is defective, that means we have to write the probability PA1 depending, provided D is already occurred. That means it's a defective item. Okay, so it will be P into bracket A1 line, put a line, given that D is already occurred. D is your event that the item is defective. Okay, what is the value of K here, K will start with 1. If you look at the Bayes theorem and go up to N, that is, well, there are only 2 events. So A1 and A2, right? So if you're using the Bayes theorem, in the denominator, your N will be 2. If you find the answer, please post it either on the chat or unmute yourself and give me the answers. Okay, can you all tell me the first part? Can you tell me what is the probability that A1 occurs? That is, the item is produced. What is the probability that the item is produced on machine A? It's very simple. Yes, anyone? What is the probability that the product or the item is produced on machine A? If I want to find out PA1. Your PA1 will be 300. That is because we are producing 300 units.
50.
Okay. Divided by 1000. Okay. That will be 0.3. So PA1 is 0.3. Similarly, what is the probability that the product or the item produced is from machine B? That will be 700 divided by 1000. Because the total is 1000 units. That will give me PA2, which will be 0.7. 7. Yeah. Next, they have given us some percentage of items which are defective. So if they say 5% of the item produced on machine A are defective, that means P into round bracket probability that the first event will be D. Okay, D upon D provided or given that A1, the item is produced on A1. So PD into slash or line A1 will be nothing but 5 divided by 100 because they have given in percentage. So it will be 0.05. And probability that the item is defective and produced on machine B will be given by 1 divided by 100. Isn't it? So PD slash line A2 is equal to 0.01. Now represent all these values in the formula which we just saw, the Bayes theorem formula, and try to find out the answers. Any success with anyone who's tried it out? No? Okay, there's something in chat. Advaith is giving 0.06 defective. Okay. Advaith, how you got this 0.06? Are you solving the second part? Are you finding PD? 60 divided by 1000. From where did you get 60? Did you take 5% and 1% and decided 6%? That's not the way of doing that. No, that is not the right way. See, when you are finding out the probability of defect, okay, so it will be like, the item is produced on A and is defective, or the item is produced on B and is defective. right? So we are going to make use of a formula where both the events are mutually exclusive, isn't it? Both are exclusive or they are dependent, either ways. Now, when you're doing the calculation, you have to think in those lines first. Now, in this, especially in the second part, if you're solving it, you'll be having, you have to find the probability of A multiplied by probability that the item is defective and it is picked up from machine A, produced in machine A, plus, because it's a OR, there's an OR there. So we'll be using plus. Probability of picking up A2 multiplied by probability that it's a defective piece given it's produced on machine B. That is how you have to do it. I'll show you the answer as well. Okay, anyone else who's given a try? Okay, let us see the answer then. Please note it down, those who have not done it. And remember, you're going to get more complicated questions than this one. Okay, so we have taken A1 as the event that the item is produced on machine 1 or machine A, and A2 as the event that item is produced on machine B. We are taking D as the event that the item is defective. Okay. Now, what is the probability for all the values? We'll find out. But before that, note down this one, the first part. The probability that item produced on machine A, given that it is defective, is given by the formula there, P into bracket A1, put a line, and D. Okay. Secondly, remember A1 and A2 are mutually exclusive. That means only one can happen at a time. And they are collectively exhaustive. Okay. These are the only possible events which form the total output. And event D can happen in conjunction with both A1 and A2. So this is my formula. Note down the formula, please, again. And if I expand this further, okay, this is for machine A1, we are doing it. We can write it like this, expanding the denominator. Agreed with this formula? Now, what is PA1? As I told you, probability that the item is produced on machine A. That will be 300 divided by 1000. Okay. Total is, as I told you, 1000. Something in chat. 0.022 is the answer for the second question. Right. Himanshu is right on the second part. The answer is 0.022. Good. Now, using this formula, I'll first of all find out PA1 and PA2, which is simply 0.3 and 0.7. So here we have 0.3 and 0.7 for PA1 and PA2. Okay. Now, the defect items are also given to us, 5% and 1%. So first, for A1, okay, we'll find that we have defective piece. So probability is 0.05. Clear? And similarly, we can do for A2 as well. So if it is produced on B, there's only 1% defective items, which will give me 0.01. Now, using this, all the values in the formula above, which we did in the previous slide, we can put it like this. Okay, so 0.3 multiplied by 0.05 and divided by 0.3 into 0.05 plus 0.7 into 0.01. You can do the calculation if you want. And the final answer will be 0.682. Okay. So the probability that the item is defective and it has been picked up from, or it has been produced in machine A, the probability is 0.682. Now, can you tell me the probability of the second part, where, not the second part, in the first part itself, that if I pick up randomly an item and it is defective and it is produced by machine B, what will be the answer for that? Anyone? You need not do any calculation. Simply you can write PA2 given that D's occurred is equal to 1 minus
0.682.
Yeah, that will give me 0.318. It is that simple. And if you want to do the calculation, you can go ahead and do the calculation and check for yourself. So using the formula as well, if you want, you can put the values there, do the calculation, division, multiplication, and you'll get the same answer as 0.318. Okay? Any doubts in this? Let us go to the second part. Second part, I think one of them has already solved it. Now for the second part, okay, the probability that the item drawn randomly from the total output is defective. Here we have an option, right? We have OR. So we are supposed to find out the value of PD. Okay. Now PD can be written like this. The formula will be P into bracket A1 intersection D. Okay. Plus P A2, the intersection symbol D. This is the formula. Now this formula, if you are using it, if it is mutually exclusive, okay, and if it is dependent, the formula changes. Now as both the events are exclusive, we will be using this formula. So PD equal to PA1 into P into bracket D, and we have already found out those values, right? Now if you look at this formula which we are using for dependent D, A1, A2, and in the previous example also, the formula, coming to the formula, yeah, this one. The one which is in denominator is the same. Okay, this one. Okay, so what we got was 0.22. So even in this case, you can see this denominator here, 0.022 was the answer. So when you replace the values in this formula, okay, you're going to get 0.022 as the answer for this given problem. Okay, please remember the proposition of this particular probability in any given problem. Okay, it will keep on changing depending on the information which is given to you. So we have to read the problem very carefully and then use it in your formula. Okay, don't just jump onto the formulas and directly start writing the solution. Read the problem, and from the problem itself, you might get something like we got the probability for A1, then we got for A2, then we got something for the defective piece was already given, 5% was already given to you. You need not use different formulas there and do the calculation. Okay, let's go ahead. We will take more example based on Bayes theorem. So when we come next, we are going to take some more problems. Okay. To give you some mathematical formula for today, I want you all to note down these formulas, which we'll be using next time when we come to solve more problems. Now, these mathematical formulas are based on your permutation and combinations and the basic like a factorial. Everyone knows factorial. What is factorial? But those who are not from the mathematical background, for them, it's a must to note down these formulas. Okay, the factorial notation, given that n is positive, okay, is given like this. So n and the exclamation mark indicates it's a factorial of n, which is written as n multiplied by n minus 1 multiplied by n minus 2 and so on. Okay. If the value of n is 0, for 0 factorial, what is the answer? 0 factorial is always 1. Please remember.
1.
Yeah. So those who do not know, please note it down somewhere. Okay, so 0 factorial will always be 1. If I tell you to find out the factorial of 3, it will be simple 3 multiplied by 2 multiplied by 1. Clear? So factorials are not that difficult. It's just simple multiplication. You have to start with the number given to you up to 1 and find the product. The second part is your permutation. So the arrangement of R objects at a time drawn out of n different objects is called as permutation. Okay, and the formula for this is given like this. So we have n PR equal to n factorial divided by n minus R factorial. And one more thing, if the value of R is also n, that is n Pn, then it is equal to n factorial, because the denominator will be n minus n, that will give me 0, and 0 factorial is 1. So n Pn will be n factorial. Make sense?
Yes, sir.
Okay. The third part is your combination. Now the combination is like selection of R objects at a time from n different objects is called combination. For example, you might have got some, in objective test and all, when you go for your online exams or competitive exams, you get some questions based on combinations. Okay. So the formula for combination is given by NCR equal to n factorial divided by R factorial into bracket n minus R factorial. Okay. Now, when we are doing problems further, we will be having combination of all these formulas. So probability, Bayes theorem, your combination probability, multiplication and addition theorem, plus combination, permutation and factorial. So it will be a combination of all this in your given exams, or whatever exams you will be facing. You'll get a problem based on all these combinations. There are some points to be noted under this. Okay. If we have, for example, we have given NCR is equal to NC n minus R. That is, example is given to you, where total number of, you can say, possible different values or objects is 10. Combination R is 4. Is also equal to NC6. Okay. The second one is, if suppose R is 1, then the answer will be N. And the last one, if both the values are N, which is similar to N and 0, so we have only one combination. The answer is always 1. Clear? Now,
Yes, sir.
using all these formulas from your PA, probability, from then theorems regarding addition theorem, compound probability theorem, the Bayes theorem, then the factorial combination and permutation. Okay, we'll take some few examples in the coming sessions. So we'll stop here today, and please keep on practicing.